Hello everyone, I'm Brian with Horses Know the Way Home. And we're here today with Brenda Lee, Killian, little Lucy who'll be running around making noise in the leaves. But I'm here today to speak about your sixth sense, your ESP, your gut feeling or gut intelligence or your intuition. And I wanted to start this little conversation off with a quote that someone had posted on my Facebook page, and I hope I give the quote justice in its accuracy. But it was from Byron Katie, and it was along these lines: if you think you're owed an apology, give yourself one. And I thought, what wisdom. As opposed to waiting around for somebody else to give you that apology, you have it within you to give yourself that same feeling that the apology would give you. And I thought, if you think you're owed a thank you, someone hasn't said thank you, give yourself one. Why would you rob yourself of the feeling of gratitude? Why would you let feeling gratitude be dependent upon waiting for somebody else to say thank you? You can feel gratitude at any given moment. Which brings us to the topic I wanted to talk about. By the way, this happens when I start feeling good. They start feeling good. And that's what I want to talk about today. That feeling good. We have five senses. I can hear the leaves. I can feel Brenda rubbing on me. I can smell the autumn leaves decaying out here in the forest. What are those senses I covered? I can hear, I can feel, I can smell. What are the other ones? I can taste. Actually, I can taste the fresh air as I inhale. I can feel her fur. I can feel Killian's winter coat coming in. But there's another sense. There's another sense, and that is your emotions. You can sense them. I can sense gratitude. I can sense frustration. I can sense appreciation. I can sense joy. I can sense anger, jealousy, resentment, hatred, love, compassion, tolerance. I can feel those the same way I can feel the fresh air going through my lungs. The same way I can feel Brenda's coat. The same way I can sense the wind going through the leaves ever so gently now, because most of the leaves have blown up the trees. So I want to talk to you today about sensing, that sixth sense, that gut feeling, that intuition, and giving yourself the benefit of feeling your feelings. We don't have any problem. You don't have to tell somebody, hear sounds, smell aromas, touch things. We don't have to tell people to do that. We can do that. We don't go, oh, could you repeat that? I wasn't using my hearing right now, so I couldn't hear you. I may have been distracted, but in order to say, could you repeat that, I would have actually had to hear something. But I don't have any problem connecting with those senses. And somehow we have gotten out of touch with feeling our feelings. We get lost in the thoughts of our feelings. So I'm going to ask you to make a journey down, past the Adam's apple, actually past your heart, down into your intuition, into your gut feeling, into your sixth sense, and realize it's not a mysterious sense, it's not a mythical sense, it's not an invisible sense, it's just not a sense that we are using as well as we use the other five senses. So I'm going to ask you today to consider using your emotions as powerfully as you do hearing to interpret sound vibrations, smell to determine aroma vibrations, sight to determine light vibrations, and emotions to determine emotional vibrations that exist. And if you can get in touch with those, now we go back to Byron Katie. if you think you're owed an apology, give yourself one. Because if we can get in the state of gratitude, we can feel those feelings anytime we want. It's just like hearing. You don't turn off your hearing. So gratitude is a feeling you have. Every emotion is an emotion you have with you all the time, at any given moment. All you have to do is tune into that frequency. Now you can do it waiting for the outside circumstances or outside situations, or you could do it at will. Your choice. Not waiting for anybody else or anything else to get just right so you can feel. Now the other thing we're going to talk about today in the next follow-up video is about leaning into the gap. And I want to call the gap GAP, gratitude and appreciation. And the reason we say gap for gratitude and appreciation, it's in the place where there's nothing. So we're going to walk through the forest and we're going to walk through trees that are not the gap. We're going to walk through things that get in our way that are not the gap. But in that gap, where it's easy, where it's open, where it's free, we're free to choose any emotion we want. So I'm going to ride Brenda and we're going to take her off the trail. And we're going to go with some thick brush, but you're going to find, as I have a GoPro camera on, you're going to find me finding the gaps, the spaces we can travel on. Whereas most people, when I bring them into the forest, or when I talk to them about where they're at in their life, they'll tell me about not the gap, they'll tell me about the obstacles, the things that are blocking them from the gap. So the way I'm going to look for this gap is I'm going to look for things that I appreciate. The free-flowing energy, the gap. I'm going to bring gratitude. I'm going to bring it first. But in order for me to do this, nice reading. In order for me to do this, I have to know one thing. My emotions are my emotions. They're just like my senses. Just like I can hear, I can listen better if I tune in. I can smell better if I tune in. I can taste better if I tune in. I can use all 5 of my senses if I tune in. You can use your 6th sense or your emotions if you tune into them. If you tune in, Brenda, when I tune in, she always wants to tune in. If you tune into your feelings, and if you're tuning into your feelings, you'll find that more often than not, you won't tune into the static. You won't tune into the feelings that you don't want. You'll tune into the feelings that feel better. That's natural. So go back to Byron Katie's quote. If you think you're owed an apology, give yourself one. Think of the sense of relief of letting everyone off the hook. And then give yourself gratitude. And then give yourself appreciation. And then give yourself compassion. And give yourself passion. And give yourself interest and curiosity. Whatever feels better. What do you think, Bren? Start right now. If there's a forgiveness you haven't been giving, that you're waiting for an apology for somebody, give yourself the apology. Whatever good feeling you're waiting from someone else, give it to yourself right now and watch the situation change. If you're looking for someone to say thank you and give you appreciation, give yourself appreciation. Sense appreciation and see how the situation changes. I'm going to ask you today to feel your 6th sense. Feel your feelings, your intuition, your gut feeling, your emotions. They are the 6th sense. They're just not used as often as our other senses. But there is natural as sight. There is natural as sound and hearing. I'm out here with Killian and Brenda. We're in the forest. We're about to go for a little ride. And all they're going to use is their senses. then Killian is not going to ask anything of Brenda. Brenda's not going to ask anything of Killian. They're both going to take care of themselves. They're both going to find what feels better and find comfort. So today, I want you to take responsibility. Take it all on you. If you want to feel gratitude, give yourself some. If you want to feel appreciation, give yourself some. Lean into the gap. GAP, gratitude and appreciation. Lean into the gap between the trees. Don't look for the branches and the obstacles in the trees that get in the way. They're always there. Anybody can see that. But it takes intention and attention to look to the gap and lean into that good feeling. So, below the Adam's apple, below the heart, into your intuition. Today, feel your feelings. Hear the message they're telling you, and then choose the ones you want to feel.